It's sort of hard to understand what I want out of a good sports game sometimes. In most cases, I just want something that plays well, plays fluidly, and generally can be enjoyed without needing much time to learn it. For whatever reasons, in recent years, the Madden NFL series seems to have been accepted as the complete opposite of that. But I don't think that necessarily applies to the Madden releases from around the late 1990s to the mid-aughts. From 98 to 2005, the series kept expanding and improving itself to where it was one of the best simulations of football on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Personally, my favorite is 2002, as it's fluid and still pretty enjoyable even today. Passing works, running feels pretty natural, and defense works just about as well. It's hard to explain, but there's really nothing wrong with it for the most part. But that's the GameCube. Back in 2001, EA had to accommodate for those less fortunate souls, those stuck with the PlayStation. Now, most companies tend to phone these types of ports in, and you can see it pretty easily in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 for the PlayStation or NHL 97 for the Genesis. And both of those examples had different problems, one built on an obsolete engine, and the other being the exact same as the previous year's installment, but they still couldn't hold up to their next-gen contemporaries. Madden 2002 for the PlayStation doesn't have those problems somehow. I was shocked initially. It plays really well, very fluidly. Tackling, receiving, and running all look pretty good. You'll see players diving for catches, tackles around the ankles, realistic run moves, all sorts of stuff. But that's just motion. Even in-game mechanics like passing and tackling are both consistent, and they work like they should. And I know the descriptions that I'm giving aren't exactly the archetype of a really glowing review, but it's just surprising because EA didn't really have to focus on this game, and with EA, if they're not focused on something, you'll typically end up with something like any of their later Saturn releases. But not this. It has all the same modes, and hell, it has an extra mode if you count the retro-influenced Madden Classic mode. It's basically just Madden 93 with updated rosters from 2001, and it's actually still pretty enjoyable amongst other modes. You can create teams, though they'll have to borrow rosters from actual teams, so there isn't much of a point. They've got classic teams, classic uniforms, and classic stadiums, something which isn't even present in the GameCube version. There's NFL Europe, for what that's worth. And to top it off, there's no Tom Brady apparently. He's in the GameCube one though, and he plays like a champ.
Brady steps back with the pass. Overthrown.
You can even learn if you want. There's a mode in which John Madden himself teaches you how football works with his telestrator, drawing bananas and smiley faces all over the place. That's another thing, the game features play-by-play commentary from Madden and Pat Summerall.
4 linebackers this time. Pass is right.
You can call mulligans and redo some plays, you can make a tournament, you can check NFL records, see who won the Super Bowl, and you can congratulate NFL legend Jaquez Green on his 2001 Madden Bowl victory. The opening cinematic is there as well. It's choppy, and it uses the footage from the next-gen games, but it's there. There's such a stupidly high amount of effort put into a secondary product away from the company's main focus. And it's still very good today, and I recommend both this and the GameCube version. And the Game Boy Color version isn't all that bad either.
Touchdown.